The situations that you find yourself in on a regular basis, on a daily basis, will determine everything for you in your life. And this is overlooked by many people because we only remember and focus on what we consider and label significant moments, funerals, right? Important job interview. But we forget about the everyday, day to day stuff or the things that have become routine for us. If I'm constantly putting myself in an environment of a lot of physical activity, people who prioritize health, and I'm always around them and in those environments, odds are I'm more than likely going to be more healthy and have a better physique, right? If I'm around people who are forward thinking, pushing ideas, working hard in their businesses, entrepreneurial, around investors, talking about financing, right? It's safe to say that I'm probably going to get involved in that or at least be a lot more interested in it and start working towards it, right? Now let's flip it. How many times have you put yourself in a compromised position where your safety or something of that nature was in threat or threatened because you put yourself in a stupid situation? I can think of the sideshows that they do in California when I used to live there, right? Or the takeovers where they take over an intersection and, they have the cars and they go, and do burnouts and all that stuff. Now, what happens there? People get in fights, people get shot, people get hurt, people get run over. Again, you get arrested. They changed a lot of laws in California about that. I used to go to school in the Bay Area in college, right? All the sideshows and all that. Again, people were getting killed. All kinds of mayhem was happening. Why would I go there? I never went, by the way, because I thought, even in my younger days, why would I put myself in that position? What if I talk to a girl and it's somebody's girlfriend and then I get jumped or something, right? But you got to think. I look at, the current situations that people are in, their friends, their environments, what they do. And it's like, it's obvious to me why people aren't happy and aren't succeeding and aren't making more money. It's blatantly obvious. Now, the social pressure and expectations come in and influence this whole thing, which we'll talk about in this video a little bit. But we really have to take a step back now, especially if you're watching this video and you're 18 plus. If you happen to be watching this and you're a teenager, I'll keep, even though I don't really flag my content for people that are younger, but I'll keep the language clean on this one. You need to put a lot more thought and effort into this, a tremendous amount. I look at relationships right now, and a lot of them are in shambles. When people are stepping out on their significant other or partner, whatever word people use today, right? Their girlfriend, their boyfriend. Well, nothing was supposed to happen, and we were just having friendly drinks at the restaurant. Why did you put yourself in that situation? You know what that leads to. But again, plausible deniability. Pushing, shifting the blame on somebody else. That happens everywhere, whether it's relationships or life, anything. Well, we were just hanging out. We just went to the club, and we just wanted to have a good time. I didn't mean to spend $300 buying 3 drinks or to be out until 4 a.m. That, by the way, is one of the main reasons whenever I get in a relationship, I don't want my significant other just going out with random people or doing the club stuff. What if the group that they're with puts her in a compromised position? Because they want to leave with certain people, right? Or they drink and get sloppy and now there's no designated driver, right? Now she's in a precarious position. So the decision is, I'm not even going to enter that environment, which is why you don't see me bar crawling, bar hopping, club hopping, and all that. I don't do that. Did it a little bit back in the day. 40 plus now. I have no business doing that, nor do I have any interest. But even back in the day, my time doing that was limited because I knew what it was. I'm not there to chase ass or get drunk or spend money that I don't have. I knew people who would save in California for months to go blow it all on a weekend in Vegas and then act like they were cool. It's like, dude, you could have used that as a down payment for a house, but you wanted to ball out for a weekend in Vegas. But see, the people who do that, those environments, those friendships, they'll lead you down that path. But you can't blame anybody but yourself because you're hanging out with them. That's the environment. That's the people. That's the result that you can expect. Now, where the social fabric gets woven into the situation is perception, because a lot of those people that would go to Vegas in that example that I gave you, it's because they want the cheers and the rah-rahs from a girl or certain people or strangers or likes on Instagram or whatever it is. It's dumb. Or to give them some semblance of meaning. And I think a lot of that too has to do with the fact that people aren't led by purpose nowadays. They're just led by empty pleasure. Just the next thrill, the next dopamine hit. Instead of living by purpose, like what you see back here, Team BC, that's my nationwide real estate team. That's the company that we're with, right? You have the old play button from the old YouTube channel that no longer exists. Those are the things that I'm focused on. Building myself, building my physique, getting my calisthenic skills right now from a physical standpoint to a certain level. Growing my business, getting my income back up and booming. I'm focused on my grind and my hustle and my vision for how I want to live my life. And right now, most things are in place. Very few aren't. And the ones that aren't, I'm working every day, right, to fulfill it. I don't care what the world thinks about it. I could literally have the whole world pointing at me right now, calling me a loser. I could give a shit. I don't care. Why? It's my purpose that I designated, that I'm going after. My legacy, what I want to do, what I'm excited about. I could care less what anybody else has to think. I'll share it. I'll let the world know. But see, the people who are in my immediate circles, and I just made a previous video that's doing well about I don't have a lot of friends and why you shouldn't either. That's why. We're tight-knit, but we share the same mindset. And this is what you need to get around more. Because then you'll start realizing it'll remove that veil from the front of your eyes. And you'll realize how much time you wasted. How many things you didn't know. The simple things that you could have been doing every day that would absolutely change your life. Like one of the habits that I instilled immediately when I got into entrepreneurship and opened up my own business and getting into real estate and sales was reading. I associated reading with school, which is why I never did it. I hated reading in school. But when I started committing myself to this journey, getting around different people, right, coaching, training, and all that, and they were really encouraging me to read, I said, you know what? If all the successful people are doing it, I might as well, do it. And the moment I started buying books and reading things that I was interested in and that contributed to my future, there'd be days where I'd read a whole book in a day. And I was just so involved in it and loved it. And like when you guys see me do the videos downstairs, right, where I'm by the window and you can see like the TV and one of the books. I have 3 bookcases in this house that are packed to the T. And I've read most of those books. Some of them I've read more than once. But had I never been in those environments and been around those people, I would have never have done that. And my life right now would be in a completely different, I don't even want to imagine where I would be. The amount of growth and development I've had since I turned that page in that new chapter, late 20s, crazy. The last 12, 13 years, right? Like at age 28, roughly. Before that, I was a bozo. But that's a result of, again, I was dedicating my life to sports, but outside of that, didn't really care about much, didn't focus on much. But y'all need to become very cognizant about who you're spending time with. And if right now you're realizing, man, the closest people to me are just a disaster and they're headed nowhere, well, you're headed nowhere with them if you stay with them. And see, where society comes in and says, well, you can't just abandon people or leave them. Yes, you can. If you want to go right and they're going left, you're naturally going to drift apart. Why would you sacrifice yourself and your future to just stay with them? If they really were your friends and cared about you, they would support you and say, you know what, bro, good for you. Go for what you want. We don't want to do it, but we're going to cheer for you. But you guys know very few people do that. Most of them are going to be crabs in the bucket mentality. Hey, man, you ain't going to be ish. Come with us, right? That's not for you. And they'll talk down to you. And say, dude, I thought we were friends. What's going on? The club scene, right? Just a bunch of stuff, wasting time. Think about the people that you associate with in the environments that you're in. Chaos, disruption, mayhem, debauchery. Hey, bro, like if you're listening to this video, I think this goes across the board, but especially if you're 25 plus and you and your friends are just, hey, where's the party at this weekend? Hey, we're going to get some this weekend. And that's all you ever focus on and talk about. You guys are going to be losers. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. I've been there. okay? Chasing ass and all that stuff, right? But if that's all we talk about, and then we spend all day, 10 hours a day playing video games, doing nothing, not bettering our lives, not developing any skills. But again, the environments and the people that you spend time with is what causes that. If you were in different environments with different people who acted differently and lived life differently, everything would change for you. But you got to realize how important this is, y'all. And you have to become cognizant, because in the beginning, that was tough for two reasons. One, I had to pay big money to access coaching, training, and those circles. And many of you are going to have to do that too. And people get so upset about that, but it's just the way that it is. Money gives you access. It's one of the main motivating factors of why I wanted to make so much money at a relatively quick rate, is I wanted to get into those events and programs and around those people and environments. I remember I did one of the Anthony Robbins events, one of the 5 days events. I think it was UPW, Unleash the Power Within, right? And I got like the elite diamond. I was in the front. The Altman brothers were there with us. There was like other famous people with the two other guys that I went with, Colton and AJ, which were my mastermind partners at the time. The event was cool. But some of the people that I met in the room that day, I ended up doing business with at some point, and some of them I'm still friends with to this day. And that event was from 2015, I think. So it's about 10 years ago now. October of this year. So in 2 months, it'll be 10 years since that event. And we're still friends. Some of us have done business together and made money, quite a significant amount of money. So even if I paid that money to meet those people and spend time with them, and we never learned anything from Anthony Robbins, the material was cool. I got a lot from it, but just who I was there with, that alone made it worth it. And I had people making fun of me. You paid $5 or $6 or $7 to go to some event, da 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 da. But the people critiquing me, I couldn't look at them and say, well, I want to live your life and have your skills. None of them. Even early on in my journey, you know how hard it was for me to find people who were as dedicated and motivated as me? I had to find people through social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, to then initially create our own mastermind, the Young Hustlers Mastermind, for those of you who have been around that long. And then we opened it up to the world and we charged a fee. Everybody had to pay to be in it. And the moment we did that, it exploded. We got 10, 15 people. Everybody was committed. But when it was free, it was a revolving door. There was the 3 core of us, and then there'd be 4 or 5 others, and they would rotate every couple of weeks because people had no skin in the game. So whether it was through my own creation, and now I have my own communities and my own programs now, right, with hundreds and hundreds of people, or me going somewhere else, that absolutely changed the trajectory of my life. And if I rewind it, I would do it again, tenfold, over and over and over. Because of the people that I met, the things that I've learned, and the direction that began to shift for the course of my life. And I wouldn't take it back for anything. I would redo it. But I crossed a threshold early on where I realized the importance of it. I knew these decisions are going to impact the rest of my life, and it's so important that I become extremely selective. But this is the key that I want people to get from this. It wasn't, I have this standard and I'm a slob. No, anything I would expect of other people, my friendships, my mastermind partners, I exhibited myself and some. Any requirement I had for other people, I exhibited it myself first. At that level, if not higher. Because I wasn't going to be a hypocrite and incongruent. No way. But it forces you to step up. It brings something out of you that many of you, I guarantee you watching this video, have not tapped into yet. And when you do, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because look at me. BC, Bryan Casella, right? I'm what I consider to be a failed professional athlete because of injuries, right? Couldn't take my career where I wanted. Had a great career overall, but fell short in my eyes. Reinvented myself. Started in real estate where everybody thought I didn't have a chance because it's sales and entrepreneurship, which I have no experience in. Started crushing it right away. Built a team. Started going on social media, blew up my social media to 200,000 followers on my first channel within a couple of years, like 4 or 5 years. Now I have a nationwide real estate team. I work with a real estate developer here in South Florida. Moved across the country back in 2021 from LA to Miami. I've shared the stage with all the guys from $1 Million Listing practically over the years. And that was even like 10 years ago now when I started doing those speaking tours. I've done over like 1,000 paid speeches at this point. I've spoken nationally, internationally, and I'm just a random dude from Southern California. You see, but this changed. I dared to believe it and pursue that vision and that dream and my purpose. And along the way, the environments that I chose to be in and the people that I was around encouraged that. They watered that garden and they helped it blossom. That's the difference. Without them, I don't know if I could have done it, because just like you, I have my moments of doubt too, and insecurity and fear and nervousness and stress, just like you guys. I've just handled them differently. But who would have thought little old me would turn into this superstar? It's pretty crazy. I find it amazing that within like the sales and real estate industry, my name, Bryan, BC, and Team BC, the weight that it holds. Now, again, if you're new to me, you might be like, who the fuck is this guy, right? But it's pretty cool to see that. Now, a lot of it is built off the strength of my hard work and dedication and all that, no doubt, right? I earned it. It wasn't just given to me. But you get what I'm saying. I was bold enough to not only take that massive action, but believe that I would get there, to speak in front of thousands of people. The biggest crowd I've spoken in front of is 5,000 people. Crushed it. That was an hour-long speech. Crushed it. And countless 500, 1,000, 2,000, 300, rooms, right? Big stadiums. Fucking cool, man. But a lot of it has to do with what I described in this video. These environments and the people that you're spending your time with, these situations that you put yourself in, are so important. And you guys really have to start taking that very, very seriously versus worrying about what the next freaking TikTok trend is or some useless information like that. Start focusing on the things that are important and your life will change very quickly. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I have a ton of free resources in the description if you want to check them out. There's some of the first links. That developer that I'm working with here in South Florida, the project, bciacapital.com. Check that out. Tremendous investment opportunity for everybody. If you're an agent, we do give referrals to agents who do sell the units as well. So you can talk to us and we can handle the sale. It's in the Georgia MLS because this project is in Georgia. My website is there as well if you want to check out any courses or my communities and training programs. Other than that, be sure to hit subscribe, leave me a comment for the algorithm, and we'll see you. Peace.